Hello, everybody. We want to humbly welcome you to the African Beat.
And Caribbean Heat Podcast.
Your boy, UBA Dollars, a.k.a. Dollar.
And I am Queen Teah. Welcome to another episode. How you doing?
I'm good. It's a beautiful day,
Yeah.
lovely day, and the weather is beautiful.
Yeah.
And today when I was driving, I saw that they had in the fair, I think there was a fair, they had like so many food trucks.
Okay.
And I wanted to go and eat, but I had to go to work.
Oh, man.
Yes, I missed that.
You did. I was able to go to it today.
Oh, you went to it?
I did.
Man.
I did. It was a lot of food trucks out there.
Wow.
It was pretty cool. So it
I
was
knew I
pretty
could have
cool.
told you bring me some.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? You snooze, you lose. But it was fun today. It was really nice, beautiful weather.
That's
So.
good.
Yeah. So we are back with another episode, bringing to you cultural differences and all aspects of our lives, from relationships to education to how we grew up. So, you being from Africa, I'm from the Caribbean, and just like today we'll talk about growing up in these different cultures, right? So tell us a little bit about, how it was for you in your younger years growing up in Africa.
When I was growing up at a time of, they said that it takes a village to raise a child. So my dad was raising me, my mom, my sister, my family, my aunties, my neighbors, everybody was raising me. And we had a big disciplinary actions. So you can get discipline from your neighbor, from somebody walking around the road and see you do something wrong. So all those stuff like made me who I am today.
Yeah.
I feel like it helped me to be a good child because I was very stubborn growing up. Okay. I was a child that was fighting.
You were very stubborn?
Yeah.
I can't even imagine that.
I was always stubborn, fighting, and I was like, we're gonna die, let's die right now.
Well, dang, okay.
So I was, it helped me to shape up my life to a man that I am today. And, it's sad that we're losing those times because of, times are changing.
Yeah.
And kids are in different dimensions compared to when I was raised up.
Sure, yeah.
So what about you?
Yeah, I would say my upbringing was pretty similar. Definitely the whole village mentality was real in the Caribbean as well. So, your mom's extended family, her friends, even the teachers at school. I remembered, our teachers could discipline us in school. You know what I'm saying? So like you cut up in class, you'll get paddled by your teachers, and then when you get home, you get some more from your parents. So yes, I remember that too. But life was a lot simpler. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So like, it was kind of like the day and age where you can leave your doors unlocked. Yeah. You didn't really have to worry about people doing things inappropriately. Everyone kind of got along. We played. We actually went outside and played. Yeah. Versus these kids now, they have electronics in their hands and their faces 24/7, and the technology is what's raising our kids now. But yeah, we actually went outside and we played with no shoes on. We played kickball and marbles. The girls did jump rope and hopscotch and all that stuff, and it was fun. It was amazing. Going to the beach on the weekends was definitely something I always look forward to as a kid. You could always have like a fish fry or some type of like food thing at the beach. And it was just like to get your week started. It was the best. I always look forward to it. I remembered as a young kid, my dad, he drove a pickup truck. And whenever he would be on the way to pick us up to take us to the beach, and my dad had like a really unique horn, like car horn, like in his truck. And he loves to like listen to his music loud. so you can hear my dad coming down the street. But like when he's like letting us know that he's coming, he'll like be on the horn like beep, 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 and you hear his music, and we just knew like, oh, it's time to go to the beach. We're excited, you know. So I remember those things. But like I said, I remember like times were so much simpler. But yeah, I agree with you. The whole like, you know, village mentality, that, you know. So what I notice now is a lot of adults are like yelled at by the parents if they're trying to correct that person's child. So like if say you're like in a grocery store or something and you see like a child is doing something they're not supposed to do, like they're climbing on something or they're tearing down something, and it appears that the mom or the dad's not correcting them, and then you as an adult, you see them, you say, hey buddy, don't do that. Then like the mom or the dad gonna look at you like, why are you talking to my child? I'm sorry, your child is over here being distracted and clearly you don't care. But like back in the day, like anybody can correct you.
And they make kids discipline and believe in the reality. And nowadays, it's really sad because I remember when I first came here, like where I'm from, you have respect for who's older than you.
Sure.
You know, and that's what's ingrained on the kids, to respect whoever is older than you. Yeah. To the level of your dad and your mom. Here you have a little kid. That's like you have 10 years or 20 years like gap in age, and they want to fight you, and they're talking to you like you and them are the same age, man. And it's sad. And the one I realized how deep it was when I used the library. Nowadays no more the way it used to be. Okay. You have teens coming to the library that's supposed to be quiet, and they're being destructive. Teens don't go to play sports anymore, to go do basketball or, you know, the park. They are coming places that is meant to be quiet and being destructive. And you see teens selling drugs within themselves. You see teens like doing stuff that's unbelievable. You know, and then I realized like what's going on in the world right now. And if you talk to discipline the child verbally, you become an enemy of the parent. And the parent's like feeling like, you think that I'm not doing a good job? It's clear you're not doing a good job because your child is not doing what they're supposed to do. Right. You know, so it's sad on the cultural difference here. I see that a lot. And that's why I want to say, Africa, please keep up it takes a village to raise a family. Because if you want to do what other countries doing, you're gonna mess up the kids and their generation. Yeah. Because it's not working for them.
So there's this thing out now, they call it like gentle parenting. Are you familiar? Have you heard of that terminology? Yeah. Yeah. So it's like this idea that what did the Bible say, or the saying is like was it spare the rod, or what is the spare the rod, spoil a child, I think is like the saying. But it's more so like not using I want to say excessive force, but like not using like disciplinary tactics to raise the child. So it's more so like you're talking to them and you're reasoning with them, and you're getting them to kind of see where you're coming from, to kind of garner obedience from the children. And just the last couple of years, that's been a big movement in, you know, people who are parents or like, you know, professionals that talk about different ways to like raise your children. And that gentle parenting is something that's going to be more beneficial for the child. Is going to allow the child to have more emotional intelligence and being able to use their words to express how they feel, versus, you know, you do something wrong, you get disciplined, right? Kind of like how we were raised, you know what I'm saying? So like I would never dare ever think to talk back to my mom or my dad. Like if they were correcting me and I thought that I could utter words to them in the process of me being disciplined, like it's gonna be lights out for me. You know, but like now, like when parents are like disciplining their children, like the children are trying to like reason with the parents. Yeah. They're trying to barter with the parents.
Cussing the parents out too.
Cussing them out too. You know, so that's kind of where we're at right now. So like what are your thoughts about this whole idea about gentle parenting?
I disagree with that because in my country there's an adage called use one hand and discipline the child and use the other hand and draw the child close.
Okay.
Meaning, if you're disciplining the child, right? When you're done disciplining, you tell that child, this is why I disciplined you.
Okay.
This is what you did.
Yeah.
That led to this disciplinary.
Sure.
The child understands.
Yeah.
Compared to talking, right? And then the child is waving your talk. It goes from one ear and it comes out. So it's like you're not talking to that child because he's looking at you like, you done, and they go repeat the same thing, right?
Yeah.
And then you have an accent where you beat the child more or discipline the child, right? Yeah. And then the child gets used to that. So that discipline does not working because no matter how you do it, the child is used to it. So it's not, stuff.
It's not effective
so that's why,
anymore.
That's why you combine the two, where you view your child and know what works. You do a little of the discipline, you do a little of the talking.
Sure.
You combine the two, and the two works.
Yeah.
But if you're only doing one, it's not gonna work.
Yeah.
Because I can give an example. I was used to disciplinary, right? My dad, it got to a point I got used to it, so the discipline didn't work on me no more. Because you can hit me, you can do whatever you want to do. It doesn't affect me because my body got used to it, right?
Sure.
But what made me listen more is the advice my elder brother was giving me.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like my dad would be done and I'd be like, Dad, this and that, I would be upset. And then my brother was saying, this is why he did it. If you don't do it, you're gonna end up in jail, you're gonna end up in that. And that, like, the two comes into my head.
Gotcha.
And it makes you disciplined. That's why whenever parents beat the child discipline the child with one hand, they use one hand and draw the child close, right?
Yeah.
And that way kids can be disciplined and be productive in the society.
Yeah.
Compared to when you're only talking to the child and you're talking yourself to death and the child don't care. Yeah. And the child grows up and become unproductive to the society. The society is gonna look down on you as the parent. You didn't raise that child, right?
Yeah, you didn't do
and
something.
the child is gonna suffer and hate his parents because they are not in the good condition of life. And I understand here in the Western world is a systematic agenda, compared to the way it was before. And people say, oh, don't beat the child. The child is going to come to Africa. You see those disciplinarity. And the kids grew up right. You know what I mean? Good things doesn't come good. I mean, in a nice way.
Sure.
Just like you want to make money, right? If you see people that are doing the construction on the road, right? You're like, oh, man, these people are suffering. They're in the concrete, they're struggling, they're in the sun, they're suffering. Wow. But when you see them enjoying their money, like, damn, you guys make good money in this. It's like, I got to come and join.
Yeah.
But when you see them struggling, you're like, nah, man, this is not for me. These people are suffering.
Yeah.
Let me protest and say, labor is right. You know what I mean? So
right.
It's people got to understand that you have to incorporate disciplinarity and talking. Yeah. That's how it works.
Yeah.
What do you think?
No, I agree. Disciplining your children and so discipline will look different depending on, how you choose to parent. So at least when I say the word discipline, I'm not always talking about like physical contact with the child, but like it can be like assigning them chores or things to do that they don't really care to do. That could be a part of discipline. But I agree with you that it needs to be coupled with an explanation as to why the action happened, and just like helping them to avoid having to go down this road again. You know, because like you say, after a while, like if all your mom does is yell at you, you get immune to it. Like it's like a sound you hear, but like it's not penetrating, you know. Or if you're used to like every time you did something wrong, like, you know, your dad will get the belt, and you know, after a while it's just like another thing, you know, and it just kind of loses its luster, and you don't care, and you just become numb to it. But so it's going to depend on, you know, what's going to work best for you and for your children. I think it's going to be really important for parents to establish the rules, you know, first and foremost. Like this is not a partnership here, it's a dictatorship. I'm in charge and you do what I say. You know what I'm saying? So like I'm not going to be out here negotiating with no 3-year-old, you know, on certain things. So like just having that understanding of, you know, mom and dad are in charge, they call the shots, whatever the case may be. And then just also kind of knowing when to kind of be flexible with your children too. So that you don't always have to always be firm with them. You can learn how to kind of be a little bit flexible with them and then be firm with them when you need to be. So I think I agree with you. There needs to be a combination of the two. But at the end of the day, people are going to do whatever works best for them and how they want to raise their children. Especially for like people who were brought up in a strict household where they felt they really couldn't do a whole lot. They couldn't, you know, they didn't really have the kind of freedom that they wanted to have. So a lot of times you'll find some parents are raising their children opposite the way how they were raised. And it may seem like they're spoiling their kids and they're trying to like compensate for what they didn't get as young people. So you kind of see that happening sometimes too. But I do agree with you about having that balance between the two.
Yeah, and then another thing about disciplining a child, like the father is the discipliner, the mother is the nurturer, right? Where the dad, that's why you see some cases the son or the daughter will do something, right? The mom cannot discipline the child. The mom will talk, and then tell the child your dad is coming home, so he'll finish the work. And then the child is scared. Oh man, my dad is coming. You know, and my dad is like, damn, mom, please don't tell my dad. You're begging your mom. Because you know how it's going to be when
you know it.
And then your dad comes, she's going to tell him.
Oops.
And dad is going to finalize the discipline.
It's a problem.
And then you find out that child is not going to repeat that. Because that child knows what's going to happen.
Dad means business.
And that's how discipline is. But nowadays, in the Western world, what I see is like, the government are the one disciplining the child.
Oh, okay.
And the reason why I say that is because people are scared to discipline the child because if they do and the child speaks, they go to jail, the government takes them. But look at how the kids are being raised now. You have kids stealing people's cars. You have kids not going to school. You have kids not being productive. You have kids not doing that. And then we got to ask ourselves, is it working for us? No. Because it's an agenda where you destabilize the kids, maybe to profit for the jail or whatever, right? Only them know, right?
Yeah.
So parents gotta understand that it's not working no more. Because the joy of a parent is knowing that your kid grew up right, become successful in the community, and become productive, right? And they be like, oh, the mother of the doctor, or the mother of the lawyer. Or the mother of the comedian. You know, like successful names. And you're proud of that.
Yes.
Nobody's proud of the mother of the convict.
The convict.
Or the inmate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So because whatever your child is,
it's a reflection of you.
Yes, it's a reflection of you. Because they believe you are the one to train the kids. But I understand it's hard here because you have the government and so many agenderistic interest in it, because you don't want to lose your kid, so you're scared to go to train your kids the way you want to train your kids to better. So you have to apply caution and stuff, and sometimes that caution ends up destroying the kid. And then once the kid is like 18, 20, he can't do nothing again because they're an adult. And that's it. You know, and the kid sometimes become unproductive for the society. Why in Africa, the parents are the ones to discipline their child. The school will discipline the child, the parents will. So the government has no role in disciplinarity on treatment of a child.
Yeah.
Now I understand some parents maltreat the kids. You know, I can understand that, but if there's physical example of that, then the government can step in.
Okay.
But if it's regular discipline, that to train the kid, I don't see anything wrong with that.
Yeah, no, I agree too. I agree
So,
too.
but every country has a propaganda and agenda, right? And sometimes people don't realize that, right? They say be soft with a kid. If you only talking to a kid, the kid is not gonna grow up, because they're gonna get used to that.
Yeah.
Because you gotta understand, you telling the kid to do what they don't want to do. Don't do what they want to do.
Sure.
It's like me telling me I want to drink this, and you telling me not to drink it.
Yeah.
You think I'm gonna be happy? No. But if you telling me and say if you drink it, I'm gonna do this to you, I'm gonna discipline you. Then I realized what my mom said, my dad said this is not good for me, and I don't want to be disciplined. So I'll ask, what can I drink? Water. You know what I mean? And that's how you make a kid converge onto what you want the kids to grow up right? Because the joy of a parent is seeing your kids grow up being successful.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of deficiency that in this country, right? In Western world. Africa, we don't have that.
Okay.
You know, because Africa, kids are like an investment to us, right? You raise a kid right, they go to school, they become productive, they work, right? And then the parents are retired and they don't receive money, they can work no more, right?
Okay.
The kids look after the parents.
Yeah, sure, for sure.
The kid makes sure the dad and mom is good, right? So it's like an investment. You put, and then when you owe, they give back to you.
Give back, yeah.
Yeah, so if your son is a doctor, you know you're going to live comfortably.
Sure.
You know what I mean? As a dad or mom.
Yeah.
If your daughter is a musician or entrepreneur, you know you're going to be comfortable, you know. And that's the benefit of having kids and agenda. But when you have, and then when you come to, because in Africa, a dad and mom can sell their precious prize possession to raise their kids, right? Because they know when the kids grow up, they're going to invest back and they're going to get a better prize and possession, right?
Okay, yeah.
Why in America, it used to be like that, now they don't have it. It used to be where if your daughter wants to go to medical school, right? You refinance your house.
Yeah.
Or sell your house and move to an apartment.
Yeah.
Because that child is very smart in the family and you want to raise them to medical school, right?
Yeah.
You do that and the child will go to medical school, become a doctor, start making good money and say, Mom or Dad used to guys sacrifice and sold the house for me. I bought a new house for us. You know what I mean? And that's joy. You don't see that now. If you have a daughter or son that wants to go to medical school, you're like, son, daughter, go get a loan.
Yeah, get financial aid.
Yeah, because they know that end of the day, when they get old, they're gonna end up in a nursing home.
Oh goodness.
And the kids might not visit them.
Yeah.
It might be once in a year their birthday, or they come and do happy birthday, mom or dad, and then they
don't see them again.
They don't see the kid again until another birthday.
The next birthday.
So now parents are realizing I ain't sacrificing for my kid.
Yeah.
You want to do that? Go get a loan.
Yeah, I agree with you in some parts of that. I think you do see here in America where some parents are not making as much of a sacrifice when it comes to like funding their children's education and kind of putting that burden on them, on the kids to kind of figure out how they're going to fund their education and stuff like that. And everyone may have their own reasons for why they do that. Maybe some families, they just didn't really do a good job of preparing financially throughout the years. So you kind of find yourself now at a crossroad where your son or daughter wants to go away to school and to become a doctor or a lawyer or whatever profession, and the family as a whole just don't have the money to afford it. So now they're having to take on loans and different things like that to kind of make that happen. And you do see in some instances where you know, when the kids go off to school and they get their education, they start working in their profession, and they start making a pretty decent living, that some of them actually do take care of their family. Some of them do, you know, are able to like retire their parents early, buy them a house, or like take care of them financially. But it's not something that you see as often.
Yeah, it's not
So
majority.
it's not majority, but it does happen. You know, and it's kind of the same in the Caribbean too, where like, you know, parents are they're very proud and prideful when it comes to their kids, because like you said, it's an investment. You know, like for my parents, they not together, but they were moved respectively from their home countries to the Virgin Islands for a better opportunity. And because of that, you know, they were able to have children that were born on U.S. territory that made us U.S. citizens. And so then we were able to kind of get access to some of those things that they were not able to get access to when they were our age. And, you know, and like for me, for example, being the first out of my family to, you know, go to the mainland and get a 4-year degree, get a master's degree, like that's a huge accomplishment, you know, in my family. I don't have any other siblings in my family that have been able to accomplish that. You know what I'm saying? But then you have some instances where some of the siblings may feel like, well, you're the favorite because you've done all this stuff. Well, no. You know, I feel like we all had our opportunity to like pursue those things. You know, life just kind of led me on that path. But, you know, for a mom to sit around with her friends and they ask, like, well, how are your kids doing? Like, oh, you know, this one's doing great. He's a doctor. He got his own practice. Or this one is a lawyer. He's doing this. Or, you know, this one is an entrepreneur and have their own business. You know, it's definitely like I would imagine for the parent, like a proud moment.
Yes.
You know, where they can, you know, kind of brag about their children, and then they kind of maybe think back of all the sacrifices that they've made over the years, you know, whether it be, you know, the discipline or, you know, restricting some of our activities to keep us focused on the school and stuff so we won't be distracted, and just kind of looking at like where they are now and how all of those sacrifices paid off for them. So I get that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's the pride of our parents is seeing their kids being successful and achieving goals. That's why, like, when we was growing up, like, our parents were like more, be a doctor, be a lawyer,
Oh my goodness.
be a accountant, or a priest.
A priest?
Yeah, like,
Okay.
be a priest.
Okay.
You know, so that was like what they wanted their kids to be. And then when you tell them I want to be a musician, like,
You're like,
what?
What is that?
Football, like a soccer player, what? Football, what? They look at you like you weird.
You
Like,
crazy,
you
man.
crazy, you know? But not knowing that, like, musicians,
They make pretty
make
good living, don't they?
they make more money than doctors and all that stuff, you know. But I get it, because that was the trending occupation. They want to hear like mom to the doctor,
Yeah, right.
mom to the lawyer.
To the lawyer.
That's a big like
Of
status in the
course,
society.
yes,
You know,
for
like,
sure.
yeah, like they'll call you mama doctor, mama lawyer. You know, it's a status of papa lawyer or papa, you know, like dad to doctor or whatever.
Yeah.
So parents believed in disciplinary education. They believe in education. They believe in, you know, being the best of you and giving you the best.
Yeah.
And giving you what they couldn't get for themselves.
Yeah.
And nothing makes them happy saying that. But all those things we're losing in this generation. I could say in the Western world, but Africa is also coming into that.
Okay, they
because Africa is like a funny country, right?
Okay.
Where it's like keeping up with the Kardashian, right?
Oh boy.
It's like America, where America is right now, Africa is trying to come there. Whether it's good or bad.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay, there's a lot of influence.
Yeah, there's a lot of influence. So we're trying to be like Americans.
Okay.
So whatever they're doing, we're struggling to get to there.
Oh jeez.
Where nowadays, in disciplinarity of kids, a teacher will discipline a kid and the mom will be upset. And take the kid to the school and like, why you discipline my kid?
Yeah.
You over discipline my kid. You shouldn't have done that, and that. Or your neighbor discipline your kid. And the mom like, why would you discipline my kid? It's not your kid. You don't know where I'm struggling with this kid. You when we're hungry, where were you? You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
It's becoming some kind of fumble in it. Where it used to be accepted. All the mom wanted to know, what did my son do? Your son did A and B, that's why I did it. That's fine.
That's it.
Now they want to know, and they still feel like you shouldn't. And it's coming to the Western mentality, which is not working.
Gotcha.
You know, because if you look at kids nowadays and kids back then, you see the difference. I myself was very stubborn. If it wasn't for disciplinarity, I would have been in jail by now.
Oh wow.
Because I was somebody that fought every day, somebody that I was very stubborn growing up.
Sure.
And if you grew up that way and get to 18, 19, that's how you're gonna be. You're gonna be hot tempered. Any little stuff,
yeah,
you fight.
Sure.
And it's not gonna look good. You know.